I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Want to say to all the 1090 listeners tuning in on radio, wherever you may be, you know, we're in home base San Diego, but you can catch us San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara, Oxnard, the Central Coast, 50,000 watts blasting up the coast. You can get us anywhere you want on radio on 1090. For those of you that like us on YouTube, that you prefer to kind of hang out with the show, see what's going on, glad to have everybody who's a YouTuber here. As a matter of fact, on Friday of last week, I was in LA for an ESPN softball event, which was a ton of fun. It was great. Guys, you'd be shocked how many people would come out to see a bunch of radio slappies playing a softball game just because it's the Friday going into All-Star weekend and the All-Star festivities are happening in LA. We must have had 1,500 people there to watch a softball game on a Friday night. One of those people, longtime great friend, huge supporter of the show, and a guy who's in our YouTube chat every day, Neil Umscheid, was there. We had a couple of his kids with him, and Neil stopped by. And I'll tell you guys this right now. This is beautiful. If there were 1,500 people there, telling you 1,000 of them were wearing Dodger jerseys because, you know, this is Dodger country, freaking Neil just comes in. I promise you, he's the only guy in the entire place rocking San Diego brown with the Padres gear on. So, Neil, it was great to see you and your kids. I wound up having a lot of fun with Neil and hanging out with him for quite a while. So I know a lot is going on now between, I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but truly, the ESPN 710 radio listeners have become Kaplan and Crew podcast viewers. And a lot of the Kaplan and Crew podcast viewers wind up becoming 710 radio listeners. So we got a lot of really interesting cross-pollination of different audiences, bringing the entire mega market Southern California region together. So, Neil, shout out to you.
What's your stat line?
He got hurt, apparently.
Were you looking?
I saw it on the internet. He got hurt. He was
Well,
hurt.
I got hurt on Thursday night. I finally decided to go out and practice on Thursday night. And you guys know Adam Wasserman, who owns the Grand Comedy Club. Adam shows up to bring me some softballs and to work me out a little bit because he's deeply involved in the softball world. My daughter's boyfriend, using Adam's like illegal bat, hit a line drive, smashed me right in the shin of my right leg. My right leg blows up like immediately. We have to run home and start icing. And believe it or not, by the next day, I was okay. Like it's still really bruised and really sore, but I showed up at the event, like ice wrapped around my leg. I was limping in, you know, and I was
playing it up.
I was trying to play it up, but
bro, you let some young punk take you out, bro.
Yeah. In reality, you Hosmered a little ground ball.
Wow. All this trash you talk about Eric Hosmer, you let some young punk take your leg out, dog?
Dude, it was like 120-mile exit velocity off this bat.
Here we go.
120 mile per hour.
The launch velocity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Seriously, man. I saw it coming at me and there wasn't a thing I could do to get out of the way or put my glove in front of it.
Where were you playing? Were you pitching and then
I was pitching. Yeah, I was pitching.
Smacked one right back to your right leg.
Back at me. Yeah. And then on Friday night when we played this game, everybody thought my team was like far and away the favorite. I didn't realize why everybody thought that, but my colleague, Steve Mason, kept recruiting new players for his team, which I was told you couldn't do. He recruited like a big-time pitcher. And this guy changed the whole game once he came in because Kirk Morrison hit 2 bomb home runs off Ramona Shelburne. Bomb home runs. And then once Ramona was done pitching and this other guy came in and he was like a real softball pitcher, we were done. I was our only pitcher.
Was it slow pitch softball or fast
slow
pitch?
Pitch. Yeah, slow pitch. And I was our only pitcher, and I was like, you know, just serving up batting practice. And on the last play of the game, this is unbelievable. This is actually truly incredible the way it all worked out. Because honestly, this could have been a disaster. Like it could have just been one of these things where it's like, hey, I went to go see this softball game because I love this radio station and it was boring as all hell and it was hot as hell. And I couldn't believe that I actually showed up for this. This softball game, it was 9-8 in the bottom of the 5th inning, which was the last inning, right? Bottom of 5, 9-8, my team's leading. Here comes the heart of their order. I'd given up 3 home runs, by the way, on 3 straight pitches in a couple innings earlier, but we still had the lead. because Kirk Morrison hit 2 3-run home runs. 9-8, bottom 5. I'm literally pitching batting practice. I have no pitching skills. I have no reverse pitches. I have no spinning. I've got no curveball. I'm just pitching batting practice.
You got to put some spin on that thing, dog.
I know. So this guy, Beto Duran, he's a long time like LA media personality. Beto comes up, hits this ball. It's just a pop-up, man, but it's going. It's going. And this guy, Kurt Sandoval, who's the sportscaster from ABC7 in LA, he's backing and he's tracking. And the ball hits him in the glove. He falls backward over the fence, drops the ball, and Beto hits a game-winning walk-off home run in the bottom half of the inning. They wind up winning 10-9 or 10-8, something like that. It was really fun. And honestly, for a slappy sort of radio stunt softball game, you couldn't have scripted a more competitive game with a more dramatic finish than the way it all went down. It was hilarious.
So Kurt Sandoval, who's that player that ran through the wall in a baseball game? Is that basically what he did, the softball version of it?
Well, he was backing up.
How little was the fence?
So he Canseco'd it.
Yes, he Canseco'd it. It was more of a Canseco. Yeah. What would you say, Brown?
How tall was the fence?
Not very tall. Like, like a softball. Like, you know how they set up like those like flexible fences in the outfield?
Oh, yeah.
So you define what is a home run, but you can easily jump over it or whatever. Right. I mean, this ball was in his glove. If he catches it, we're still alive in the game. But because he drops it, they win in walk-off fashion. So
I saw a clip from the celebrity game. I don't even know if it's aired or not. I wasn't paying attention this weekend, but I saw a clip from the celebrity game at Dodger Stadium. Remember Hunter Pence, the old Giants player?
Yeah.
So, they made him wear these like Dodger color looking, jerseys for the celebrities. Mm-hmm. And he comes up and he hits a home run like literally out of the regular stadium. And he ripped his jersey off and he was wearing a Giants shirt under, and everybody starts booing him and stuff. I was like, that's such a sick moment, dude. Like for him, like just sticking it to all those Dodger fans out there. That was great. Yeah.
I didn't watch a lot of any. In fact, I didn't watch any of these celebrity all-star festivities over the weekend. I mean, everything that I found out about what was going on at Dodger Stadium this weekend was all about social media. Like, to me, even though there were festivities like Saturday and Sunday, Celebrity All-Star, and then there's like the Futures game and all that kind of stuff. Like, to me, tonight is the Home Run Derby. Yeah. And then tomorrow is the actual game. And those are the two all-star festivities that I like. But I do remember years ago, this is 2016, when the all-star game was in San Diego. Mm-hmm. I took my son to the Futures game. And I remember at the time, the Padres had an outfielder named Manny Margot, who was on his way up. He had not made it to the major leagues yet. And he made a couple of really spectacular, like jumping at the wall, defensive kind of catches in center field. And Padre fans at the time were like, that's our future center fielder right there. Whatever happened to Manny Margot? I mean, he came up to the Padres.
But Rays, dude.
Oh, is that where he is now?
Yeah, he was part of that trade for Cronenworth and Pham.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him and Renfroe and Manny Margot is actually doing pretty good. He's only played in 51 games, but 302 batting average. It's pretty good.
All right. Well, he'd
be other stat line there,
He'd be a star in center field with the Padres right now.
Yeah. But you look at this. I was at the celebrity softball game in San Diego. I think Terry Crews took his shirt off and did the boobs dance, and then he proceeded to be the worst softball player in the history of softball. Like, Terry Crews has never picked up a bat in his life.
He's the worst in general.
He didn't know what to do with it.
He's the worst.
But because the game's in LA, they actually had like real celebrities.
Yeah, like I saw Bad Bunny, a ton of Bad Bunny videos I saw this weekend.
Bad Bunny, Quavo, Rob Lowe, The Miz, the dude that played Shang-Chi in the Marvel movie, Simu Lee, Bryan Cranston. Yeah.
From Breaking Bad?
J.K. Simmons. Yeah, a lot of people.
Hey, by the way, speaking of series, just as a side note, I'm 3 episodes in now to Stranger Things. Only 3.
3.
I'm only 3. 3 episodes.
I'm shocked you made it that far.
Yeah.
Same.
No, I'm 3 episodes in, and I gotta admit, like I get to the end of the show, and I'm like, okay, I want to know what happens next. Like, I'm ready to go on to the next one, but I was falling asleep last night, so I only got 1 in. But I'm 3 episodes into Stranger Things. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Me too. I'm proud of you.
Are you enjoying it, or are you forcing yourself?
No, I like it. Alex. You warned me, and you warned me brilliantly. It's not really my cup of tea. Like, it's very Dungeons and Dragony, very horror filmy kind of deal,
Yeah.
sci-fi sort of
Super
stuff.
power. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, like, Winona Ryder and Matthew Modine, those are two actors who are part of like my childhood, like Matthew Modine, the actor. I don't know if you guys ever saw a movie called Vision Quest.
Who does he
Anybody?
play? Who does he play?
He
Papa.
plays like the.
Oh, okay.
He's like what you say, Papa? Isn't he like the doctor, like who's running this whole weird facility?
But I would have only known him as Papa. I wouldn't have known him as anything else.
But he's got gray hair and
Mhm.
and he's 11. I don't know if he's 11's dad yet or what. I'm only 3 episodes in, but I mean, I can kind of sense that every time they throw her in her cell, they're like, she's yelling, Papa, Papa,
Yeah.
So that guy, Matthew Modine, was in a movie when I was a kid called Vision Quest. Does anybody know the movie Vision Quest?
I don't think so.
Vision Quest is a movie, probably in the late 80s, about a kid who's a high school wrestler. And he's like this tall, skinny guy. And he's got this one guy who's like the state champion in the state, and his name is Shoot. I don't remember why they called him Shoot, but he was shorter and thicker. And Matthew Modine is tall and skinny. And his whole vision quest is to beat this guy to win the state championship. And so Matthew Modine is a guy who I've always been a fan of his from that movie. And then Winona Ryder, I feel like Winona Ryder has been in a whole bunch of films that I saw when I was probably a young kid, like
This was like
Beetlejuice
her.
or something.
This was like
this saved
the
her
show
career.
that like resurrected her career.
Yeah, dude, she was donezo. Who would have? Netflix has done this for a couple of people, but no one more than her. Like she was literally in the dumps with her career, and however she got this role, she knocked this role out of the park.
Yeah, it's
Matthew
good.
Modine was also in Full Metal Jacket. I didn't even recognize him.
Yes, he was in Full Metal Jacket. That's right. Yeah, that's
Dark
right.
Knight. I know him from Dark Knight Rises.
Oh,
yeah, he was in that.
So I'm 3 episodes in.
Who was he in that?
Not the commissioner, but like the top cop.
Oh, that was him. The same guy.
Mm-hmm. He just didn't have that full white hair yet.
Oh, okay, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 3 episodes in. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I feel like I've already surprised you guys that I've started Stranger Things and that I've made it past 1 episode. So I'm kind of proud of myself.
Like I said last week, I'm not surprised that you started it because it's become such a cultural thing. I'd be surprised if you finished it.
Yeah, I've got FOMO. It's true. All right. Hey, let me just have 1 second here because now what I'd like to do is I actually want to start thinking about where the Padres are in relation to where the Dodgers are as we hit the All-Star break and we get ready for the second half of the season. Alex, I think you and I in particular have done a great job of fulfilling our promise that we were not going to get excited. Right. We were not going to get excited about the Padres, whether they were awesome in the first half or they were terrible in the first half. And as it turns out, they were awesome at times, and then they were terrible at times, and then they're limping into the All-Star break. And then the question really comes down to, what are they going to do in the second half of the season? Are they going to make a big trade, number one? Oof. Or are they going to get Tatis back? And if and when they do, what will he be? So those are the 2 things I definitely want to consider in just a matter of moments. Before I do, I want to just make a quick mention here. This upcoming Saturday, I know today's only Monday. This Saturday is our next IV Lounge at iThrive.MD. Now, a lot of you guys out there have heard us talk about IV lounges, and you're thinking to yourselves, what the hell are you guys doing? Who goes and gets an IV unless you're going into the hospital and they tell you that they're giving you an IV? Nobody goes and just gets an IV. Well, turns out a lot of people do. We just didn't know about it until we got into business with iThrive.MD. If you go onto our website, kaplanandcrew.com, you're going to find more information about our IV lounge. You're going to save 30% this Saturday, but you need to call and make a reservation now. 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. The reason it's important to make a reservation is because there are like 8 chairs in the IV lounge. I'll take 1. Usually Grande and Browner take 2. So that leaves 5 chairs. A couple of weeks ago, we had people sitting in the waiting room waiting for IVs to be done so that they could get in because it became like a whole big thing. If you've been there and you've done it, you know how awesome it is. If you've thought about doing it, come on down and give it a try. If you just want to hang out, drink mimosas, have a bunch of fun, great. But you're going to feel so good. 30 minutes. IV goes in, gets absorbed directly into your body. It's not like food or vitamins where you only, take a certain percentage. This is all in right away and you feel awesome. I Thrive MD, the IV Lounge is this Saturday. Make your reservation now, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497, and we will all see you guys there this Saturday. And based on the week ahead, between Bill Hagan's band at the Kraken on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, the Great Friends Stables kickoff party at the track Thursday night, and then opening day of Del Mar on Friday, by Saturday, I can assure you this, gentlemen, I'm going to need that IV. That I'm going to need because this is going to be a big week here around the show. So, all right, let's jump into the Padres. Alex, if you could, give us a snapshot as to where the Padres stand as we are now into the All-Star break and coming back for the second half of the season. Go ahead, man. Get us started.
Well, just the NL West, there's 10 games, behind the Dodgers, still 2.5 games above the Giants. They sit at 52 and 42, which is the fourth best record. Whether believe it or not, it is the fourth best record in the National League.
Which, by the way, I just want to make a quick little jump in here. Keep that on the screen if you don't mind. But here's the thing. For as much as I say the Padres limped to the finish line of the first half of the season, that's because there was a time in late June before the Padres played the Dodgers in LA where they were tied with the Dodgers for first place. What's happened? Say again, I'm sorry?
Like early June.
Okay, it was early June. What's happened since then is, and you had these numbers last week, in the last, call it like 20 games of the first half of the season, I want to say the Padres may have been like 14 losses of 20 games, something like that. I mean, just don't quote me on the exact numbers. Just suffice it to say that when they were in first place, we were all kind of like, wow, this is cool. They're playing first place ball. And then everything kind of went south thereafter. So for them to have the fourth best record in the National League behind the Dodgers, which is who we always keep our eyes on, the Mets, and who am I missing here?
It's the Braves. I'll take a look.
Yeah. But that's still, you got to give them credit. As poorly as they played and call it the last 20 games, to have the fourth best record in the National League, that puts them right there in wild card contention. So I got to give some credit where credit is due. As poorly as the first half ended, they have positioned themselves without Tatis and with all kinds of issues related to the starting pitching staff, at least in the early part of the season. I got to give them credit. They have positioned themselves to be a playoff contender in the second half of the season. So if you just go back to where you were, Alex, if you can put that back up on the screen, fourth best record in the National League. That's impressive. Go ahead. Take us through this, what we've got here.
Yeah, fourth best record in the National League, ninth most runs scored, sixth best for runs allowed, sixth fewest. Team average of 244 is ninth in the National. This is all National League rankings, by the way. Team home runs, this is where they struggle. They're second worst with 77. Team ERA, sixth best. Quality starts 50. That's the most in the National League. And they've thrown fourth most strikeouts. So hitting, middle of the pack, pitching, top of the pack. That's obviously, we know that's what's carried them.
Okay, well, here we go. I mean, this is we got a little break here where you get the home run derby today, you get the All-Star game tomorrow, you have the ESPYs on Wednesday, and then Thursday it's back at it. It's back to the second half. Brown, what do you think? What's going to happen here in the second half? Are they going to fall apart the way they were at the end of the first half, or are they going to recover, bounce back, and explode going forward?
Well, what I want to give people some, I don't want to call it insight, but what I want to give people some room to focus on, because I think this is a World Series contender. I know we've talked a lot about trading for bats and things of that nature, but I want to continue to preach calm, as I just put on Kaplan and Crew, live and direct. Y'all can go read it right now. The magic number. Check that out. That's what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
Because that's what you're talking about, but none of us know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Today I posted on the blog. Okay, the Brownback blog is still alive and well. Things are up there about the magic number and what we need to be focused on. Because I think we spent a lot of time really getting upset about these losses, and I spoke about this last week, but I wanted to put it in some writing and put it out there so it can live a little longer in different spaces. So I wrote something on the Brownback blog called the magic number, and that's what people should be focusing on.
Okay. All right. Alex is taking us to the website right now. The magic number.
Should be bigger.
You want the picture bigger?
Yeah, I'll get back in there. I'll fix it.
Okay, and there you go. There's Browner's blog.
Very sweet.
Short and sweet blog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But we're burying the lead here, aren't we?
Which is?
I didn't pay attention too much to sports this weekend, but I'm pretty sure that I saw that the Padres are trying to get Juan Soto.
I've seen people hit me up on Twitter. No, I've seen people hit me up on Twitter. Here's what people say to me on Twitter. I got a tweet today from a guy who said, look, it's time for the Padres to make a big move. Juan Soto for Fernando Tatis.
And that's when you hang the phone up.
Yeah, no thanks.
That's when you hang the phone up.
I honestly, it's usually when people tweet me, I'll just like the tweet just to let them know, hey, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those tweets that I didn't even like.
Yeah. No. Non-starter. No, like you got this kid. Listen, is he injury prone? Obviously, but you got when he plays, he's amazing, and so is Juan Soto.
Spectacular.
But you already got Tatis for I already forgot
signed,
signed. And the problem with Soto is he rejected $440 million, dude. What is he? Either the Padres going to open up to trade Tatis. That would be, first of all, fans would hate you, and then now you got this guy for 2 years. But his arbitration is going to cost you $30 million a year. Like, no.
Well, let's go deeper into this. Stick around, everybody. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Coming right back. We're into this Padre story. Stick around, everybody.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Rome comes home. Yes, I said it. You can now catch the Jim Rome Show Monday through Friday, noon until 3 p.m. on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Back to San Diego, where it all started, on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Please welcome in tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again on Main Street Living.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be back.
So, of course, we have more tax questions for you. First of all, what are the types of business entities that business owners can use?
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd ask this question. So this time of year, this is when, business owners probably just got handed a pretty big tax bill. And so naturally, the next question is, how can they save taxes? How can they save on taxes? And so that's where these business entities really, they may come in. So what we're looking at is corporations or limited liability companies, more commonly called LLCs. So definitely by using either a corporation or an LLC, business owners may be able to really save on taxes. For the most part, when we talk about tax savings, we're looking at like an S Corp election. And so again, an LLC can do that, a corporation can do that. But the net result is you want to save on what's called self-employment tax. So for 2022, a business owner is going to, by default, pay self-employment tax on the first $147,000 of taxable income. So that's 15.3%. By doing an S Corp election, putting yourself on payroll, you can really drive down how much of your income you have to pay that 15.3% at. Beyond the tax savings, it just offers an extra level of protection between the business owner's personal assets, say their home, and their business operation. So, no matter what business you operate, you're going to have some exposure to liability. So an entity like a corporation, like an LLC, it just puts that extra level of protection between the business and then what the owner has on their personal side.
Yeah, well, clearly a plethora of information that you always provide to us, Adam. We appreciate you being on the show. Where can our viewers get in touch with you for more tax help?
Yeah, like always, they can visit my website, triumphovertax.com, or feel free to pick up the phone. You can always give me a call, 619-591-9500.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends, what's happening? It is Monday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. We're coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. And so we were in the middle of a conversation about the Padres. And just for those of you that are catching up on radio, any 1090 listeners, let me just recap where we were. The Padres have the fourth best record in the National League, which I was saying is pretty impressive given the circumstances. I mean, think about this year coming in. Blake Snell was still kind of hurt. Clevenger was hurt. Weren't sure what you were going to get with Mackenzie Gore, and things have been high and low with Mackenzie Gore. Joe Musgrove has been incredibly consistent. So from a pitching perspective, Yu Darvish, same thing, really consistent. So there's been highs and lows in the pitching staff, but all the statistics say that the Padres are a really top-notch pitching, at least starting pitching kind of team. The hitting is where the problems lie or have lied. And yet, without Tatis, and even with Machado missing a chunk, not that much, but a chunk, the Padres have still positioned themselves as a wild card contender with the fourth best record in the National League. That's where we were. Grande, Brown Man, we brought up then, you said you were bearing the lead, that there was some talk about the Padres contemplating a potential trade for Juan Soto. I mentioned that somebody had hit me up on Twitter and said, let's trade Tatis for Soto. You guys jumped all over it and said, wait, Tatis is signed for the next 12 years. Soto signed for the next 2 years, and he turned down a $440 million contract. Could the Padres get Juan Soto and have him for the next 2 years? I mean, I'm not really sure what they've got to give up for Juan Soto, but give up the whole farm for the next 2 years.
I mean, that's what they'd have to. I don't know if that's what they want to, but that's if you are AJ Preller and you're looking at Juan Soto, who was an MVP finalist last year and who's only 22, 23 years old, and he's basically the exact player that you're missing on this team. A guy that hits for power, a guy that plays outfield, a guy that brings in runs. That's exactly what you're looking for. You're gonna have to give up everything you got, pretty much. I'm talking CJ Abrams, I'm talking Robert Hassel, I'm talking maybe Gore, I'm talking Pitt. I don't know. I'm telling you everything.
Look, man, if you want a bat of that magnitude, and this is what I was talking about. Someone will come available. Something always shakes loose. That's just the nature of the sport around this time of the year. Teams contending, teams not contending. So something shakes loose. Something shakes loose that you know will. Something always shakes loose that you didn't know would. This is the person who shook loose that you didn't know who would. I would not trade the moon for this guy because, again, baseball, look at the Angels. The Angels are the perfect example of why you shouldn't do that. Okay? All we get told is how great those two guys are. Look at where they are. I like where the Padres are. I like where they're headed. Now, if you told me I had to give you C.J. Abrams and some other minor league stuff and Hosmer's contract, which you would force them to take, I'm on board. But if you told me I got to give up Mackenzie Gore, I got to give up C.J. Abrams, I got to give up more of our top prospects, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't think that that's a good deal. I would wait to see what else is out there. Is Juan Soto the best out there? Absolutely he is. But bringing him in guarantees you what?
Well,
nothing.
This is what
I mean. Is Juan Soto really only 22 years old? Like, really?
Yes.
He's only 22?
It's not like one of them Dominican things where the birth certificate is weird. No.
He's 23. He's
Okay.
23. But you remember, like, he made his debut like 5 years ago. He was like 18.
Right.
Remember, like, we were on air on 1090. And I think his debut was against
you're
the
right.
Padres.
Yeah. And I want to say that maybe I think his first at bat in the
Rush.
major leagues against the Padres was a home run. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think I remember like being like, wait, this kid, 18 years old, just showed up and his first at bat in the big leagues happened to come against the Padres and he hit a home run. Like it's coming back to me. Okay.
If you're looking at from a long-term perspective, 2 years is still in your window because that's what matters.
Right.
It's not just that you have him for 2 years. It's that you have him 2 years while you have a window open to become a World Series contender.
Right.
Like that's really important. If the Padres were building a team, like then that's different, because is he going to come in and make you no one in baseball can, despite what Browner thinks. Juan Soto by himself, he's on a bad team and he's great. So, but the Padres have already built obviously a playoff contending team. We don't know if they can be a World Series contending team, but I think that when you're talking about the window that's open this year and the next 2 years, Machado next year, and then he can opt out. Tatis for the next decade plus. Like, you're talking Cronenworth for who has control for a few more years. That right there would put you on par with what the Dodgers have built as far as a core of talent that you can point at. Like, this is our core. You fill everything out around. You fill out everything else around them. But you're talking about Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, Jake Cronenworth, Juan Soto, looking like Joe Musgrove. You still got Yu Darvish. Like, you're talking about real talent that you control. That puts you up there, and that makes it worth it. If it makes you, because if you give up CJ Abrams, who's 21 years old, like, you're not trading him for a Max Scherzer who's going to be here for 6 months. That's a big difference. You're trading for a guy who is a MVP finalist, who hits freaking bombs, who brings in runs, and who's 23 years old.
Yeah, the only thing is that you probably would go into this if let's just play it out. If the Padres could make a move to get Juan Soto, yes, Alex, I agree. They would be in the same class on paper with the Dodgers. But you'd probably also know, if he's only got 2 years left on his deal and he's already turned down a $440 million contract, you would probably know going in, this is a short-term rental. It's this year and next year. And if he's turning down a $440 million deal now, that's because he thinks by the time he gets to that contract, and by the time he gets to where he can actually really go out and shop himself, he thinks he's a $500 million player or a $600 million player, not a $440 million player. And just real quick, the thing is that if you're willing to trade the farm today to get Soto, that means you've got this year or next year. That's your window. And I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. I'm just saying you have to understand you're probably not looking at signing him because really, look, if we've been arguing about Joe Musgrove all year and we've been talking about the number $20 million, is it too much? Is it too low? Will it get the deal done? Will he move on? If you've got Manny's contract and you've got Tatis's contract, a year and a half from now, when this guy Soto is in theory a $500 million contract for, call it 10 years, you're not going to have that kind of money.
Right. Well, this is what AC said in his daily today. It's almost certainly would require not only a prospect haul for Soto, it will also require moving the salaries of Eric Hosmer and or Blake Snell and or Will Myers.
Moving the salary. So in other words, if Washington were to take on Hosmer, Myers, or Hosmer, Snell, if you gave up Hosmer, Snell, and Abrams and something else, and you got Soto, you'd have to eliminate salary. You'd have to move money. Yeah, I understand. Okay.
Right. Yeah. The all reports is they are not going to go over the luxury tax again. Seidler said, I will have this type of payroll, but I am not going over the salary cap again. That's pretty much the reports. So yeah, it's going to take some maneuvering, and I don't think it's a very likely thing to happen. But if you have an option, if you have a possibility, you have to explore that possibility.
Well, I mean, listen, the Padres did it last year. They did it last year.
$444 million, and the $444 million over 15 years wouldn't even make him the highest paid player in baseball. So the people keep saying that number, $444 million. He turned it down over 15 years. That doesn't make him the highest paid player in baseball.
No, it actually would put him not high at all.
Right, it's like 30th. It's like the 20th highest
29th or something.
Yeah, per year. And that's not that's nothing for a guy that good. No, that's nothing.
Yeah. But again, the Padres at this time a year ago were talking about Max Scherzer. They were trying to go for it, and they didn't get the deal done. And you saw what the Dodgers did. The Dodgers not only got Scherzer, who they rented, but they got Trey Turner, who replaced Corey Seager. So there was a strategy to that trade, if you will.
Well, that's interesting that you bring that up, because Corey Seager represented by Scott Boras. Juan Soto, represented by Scott Boras, who Scott Boras loves taking his guys to free agency. That's just what he does. So if you get Juan Soto, I don't anticipate a long-term contract being signed within those 2 years. I anticipate him balling out for the next 2.5 seasons.
Is it 2.5 or is it 1.5? Is he? I don't know his
2 more
contractual
seasons
status.
2 more seasons after this one.
Okay, so hold on. Let me time out for a second then. If you're telling me I can get Juan Soto for the remainder of this year, where the Padres, I made this point earlier, have positioned themselves to be a playoff contender without Tatis, missing Machado for a chunk of time, having problems with injuries in the starting pitching staff, and yet the starting pitching has been really, really strong. If you're telling me I could have Juan Soto this year and the next 2 years, this is a risk I'm probably willing to take. Because when you
that's my point.
Because when you look at the
Yeah,
numbers, just
same.
show everybody the numbers, Alex, and we'll go through them for everybody who's listening on radio and audio podcast. When you look at his year that he's having so far, Soto, and you look at his career stats, and again, he's been a major leaguer since he's like 18 and change. I mean, this guy, he puts up real numbers. Plus, he's entertaining as all hell. When he steps into the batter's box, dude, and he's doing all of his dancing around and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what this picture is of him with his pointer finger into his vein. I don't is ice in his veins, or is he going to iThrive? This guy, I don't know if he's planning on going to iThrive with us this Saturday.
Either or.
But go through the numbers for us, Alex.
Yeah, this season hitting 250, but Chris Rose told us batting average don't matter. So home runs 20, RBIs 43, OPS 901. If he were a Padre, he would be leading the team in home runs and OPS and be second in RBIs to Manny Machado.
Mm-hmm.
But his career, I mean, like I said, MVP finalist last year. He's just excellent. He's having his average is dipped, but as far as home runs and RBIs, it's on par with the rest of his career.
If you told me Blake Snell, Eric Hosmer, Mackenzie Gore, I'm just trying to think of what else, like I honestly, if I were the Padres and I
have
really
to put CJ Abrams in there.
So, okay, CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Eric Hosmer, and Blake Snell. So if you told me those 4 guys and I could get rid of Hosmer's salary, I could get rid of Snell's salary, those 2 guys I'd be happy to part with. I mean, I'm not down on Blake Snell. It's just the numbers aren't good. But if I could get rid of Hosmer, if I could get rid of Snell, now at Mackenzie Gore, I think there's a real upside. So I hate to do that. And I hate to give up on Abrams because I think there's also a real upside there, especially if he were to eventually move to second base. I'd hate to have to give up those 2 young guys. But if you told me for the next 2.5 years, I've got this guy versus those 4 guys.
I don't think it's that easy. I think that you're looking at having to trade a bunch of prospects like Robert Hassel, like Mackenzie Gore, like CJ Abrams, and like other guys, and then figure out a way to get rid of Hosmer and Will Myers and Blake.
You're going to have
Blake has some value, I would say, but I mean, I don't think that the Nationals aren't just going to take Eric Hosmer's $20 million a year.
Of course not.
Like they might take Will Myers because it's an expiring contract, but they're not going to take Hosmer.
They'll take CJ Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, and they'll take Will Myers because that money will be gone. And then you have to give them a bunch of guys who are highly rated in our prospect in our farm system. And then you got to find somebody to take Eric Hosmer, which you haven't. And you got to find somebody to take Blake Snell, which you could. That's not arm twisting. But the Eric Hosmer part would be the sticky part because no one's taking that. No one's taking that.
Let me tell you guys something real quick about Eric Hosmer. So last week when we launched a new T-shirt that said "Trade That Man," I thought it was really funny. And I think a lot of fans feel the same way that we feel, which is that Hosmer has become a mess. Not only does he, he produced early in the season. I got it. But he doesn't produce the way his resume says he should. And this whole Gold Glove thing, I don't know where this guy ever got a Gold Glove, but his defense is terrible. He makes way too many mistakes for a guy with his resume. So we put out this T-shirt on Friday of last week called Trade That Man. It's actually Thursday of last week. Trade That Man. Alex posted the picture on Facebook, as well as Instagram and Twitter and whatever else. People commented on Facebook Like they were really, really insulted. Like, wow, you guys have hit a new low. Wow, you're such a sellout. Wow, you got no class at all. I'm just curious. If we ran a poll, would you prefer to trade Eric Hosmer or keep Eric Hosmer? Forget about details. Just do you want him on the team or do you not want him on the team? Don't you think overwhelmingly, like 70 some odd, 80 some odd percent of Padre fans polled would say, yeah, I want to get rid of Eric Hosmer? Don't you think?
So let me ask a question to those people who put that on in the questions about the trade that man T-shirt and started attacking.
Mm-hmm.
When he is on the wrong side of first base,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say? Yay! When he basically destroys two plays in the infield that cost him the game, do you cheer that? When he grounds out into a double play in a very crucial moment, do you cheer for that? Because he does these things routinely enough that my question to you is, if you're going to bash the shirt just out of curiosity, what would you rather them do with him? Just wait it out? Because that's a long wait.
I see. I'm just looking at our Facebook right now. Let's see. One guy, Sean Jacoby says, boo. Neil Umscheid, he says that shirt should be number 9 and say cap on it. Trade that man. Should trade me. Here's Paul Segura who says, why is Hosmer being scapegoated right now? He's hitting 272. Sandra Sassy sends a thumbs down. Mike Egan says, I see you've reached a new low. Enter Danielle says, no class. He's not the problem. And then we get to some other people like Mike Hernandez, Mikey number 1. He's like, I love this. Or then we get to Dexter O'Donnell who says, Kaplan, you're a total sellout. Now you're all about LA. Please go away and support your Doyers and bestie Dean O. Spanos. Do I support Dean Spanos? Mm-hmm.
He's your bestie?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I said on Thursday, I was like, this is definitely the meanest shirt we've ever done.
Good.
But it's like, I don't think
Here's a longtime great friend. Here's a longtime great friend, Eric Causley. He can't hit, field, or run the bases anymore. But I hear he's a nice guy. Shake my head. I'm done with him. So listen, I didn't think the Trade That Man t-shirt was so offensive. And to about half the people who were chiming in, it is. And to the other half of the people, they're like, good, get rid of him. I'm done with that guy. So
makes no sense. Makes no sense.
People very sensitive.
Yeah. But what I do care about more than Eric Hosmer right now, also, I saw this on Friday. Because Scott, we did it. We did not get excited for the first half. But now we can. Now we can do whatever we want and stick it in Browner's face. Guess what I'm excited about?
Tell me.
Oh, just Tatis getting cleared to swing a bat, 100%. Let's get excited. Let's go. Tatis, Soto, no Hosmer, Cronenworth All-Star, also exciting.
Dude, how about Cronenworth? Think about this. And I was talking about this last week. I was driving through downtown LA, and there's this big mural of Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani advertising for the All-Star game. And I was like, geez, that's really presumptuous about Freddie Freeman, because Ohtani was no question, no doubter, and Judge kind of the same deal. And Freddie Freeman was on this mural representing the Dodgers. If you had Mookie Betts on there or Clayton Kershaw, I'd be like, no problem. But Freddie Freeman gets in as a last-second replacement in the All-Star game. So now the mural actually works. But there's a picture of the Padre All-Stars kind of making their way to LA. There they are. There's Pay That Man. There's Joe Musgrove, Manolo, and
hitting third today, by the way. Machado starting at third
in the All-Star game itself.
That's how good he's playing.
But you said today. I mean, today's the home run derby. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But hey, give credit to Cronenworth. I'm so happy for a guy like Cronenworth. I love his story like his. Where I mean
he was like the throw-in piece of the Tommy Pham trade, basically.
It's great, man. Good for these guys.
It's like another Tatis. It's like a not as the White Sox trading Tatis, probably like the biggest L they've ever taken. The Rays just giving away Cronenworth too. Like, I know they got Manny Margot, who's okay, but Cronenworth's all-star.
It's pretty impressive. I like what Cronenworth's rocking there. I think it's like a black pair of jeans with a white t-shirt with like a black, I don't know if it's denim or not. I realized this weekend I don't have any jackets.
He's dressed like a guy who hadn't been paid yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. But, I mean, Musgrove's wearing a pair of khakis and a white T-shirt.
Also dressing like a guy who hasn't had a big payday yet.
Oh, speaking of pay and Musgrove,
Yep.
update
Oh.
from Kevin Acey titled Big Week. The Padres and representatives for pitcher Joe Musgrove recently resumed talks regarding a long-term contract. Multiple sources said there is optimism the deal could be completed this week.
Whoa. Pay that man.
Musgrove has made it clear he does not want to continue talking through the final 2 months of the season and is willing to go to free agency after the season if a deal is not reached soon.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, let's
see the performance. That's what it is.
Well, let's talk about that. Well, let's talk about that here in a second. Plus, also coming up, because this evening is the home run derby, starting at 5:00. Let's go through the home run derby lineup, because I think there's some people on this lineup that you might expect, and maybe somebody that maybe you don't expect. Stick around. Hey, coming up, I just want to remind everybody real quickly, Mazda of Escondido, MazdaofEscondido.com. If you have a used car and you want to get rid of it, whether that's trading it in for a brand new Mazda product or leasing a brand new Mazda product, or, hey, I've got this used car and I don't want it anymore, Alan, the general manager, is paying top dollar for a used car. You bring it in, they analyze it, they make an offer, you accept the offer, you're walking out with cash. Mazda of Escondido, MazdaofEscondido.com, on the Escondido Auto Park. We're back in 2 seconds. Everybody stay right where you are. We'll talk about the home run derby next.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company. You need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Winona Ryder. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates.
The MLB draft started on Sunday night. The Padres selected right-handed pitcher Dylan Lesko out of Buford High School in Georgia with their first pick of the night at number 15 in the first round. Per MLB Pipeline, Lesko has the best changeup in the class. He was one of the top prospects this year before dropping after undergoing Tommy John surgery in April. In competitive balance round A, San Diego selected another pitcher, left-hander Robbie Snelling out of McQueen High School in Nevada. Snelling was a Division I recruit in football at linebacker and wanted to play both sports in college before committing to LSU for baseball only. In the second round at pick 53, the Padres selected Adam Mazur out of the University of Iowa. Mazur was the Big Ten Pitcher of the Year this season.
That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Want to say to all the great friends who are watching on Cox Cable, part of the Cox Your View network in San Diego, Channel 4, in Santa Barbara, Channel 4, in LA and Orange County, Channel 118 on Cox or Spectrum. But then again, you know that because you're watching. This is Cox exclusive content with Kaplan and Crew. You'll never hear this on radio. You'll never see this on YouTube. You won't hear it on audio podcast. This is just for you guys that are watching on TV. Grande Brown Man, Wednesday night this week. So today is Monday. It is July 18th. But on Wednesday, July 20th, Keg the Band is playing at the Kraken in Cardiff. And who is the leader of Keg the Band? Our very own Bill Hagan, who owns 1090, who got us on to Cox Your View. And we want to get everybody out there on Wednesday night. I know it's a school night, everybody, but come on out because Wednesday night, the place is going to go off and we're going to have a great time. And Bill Hagan is here right now. Bill, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you? Thank you.
Doing great, man. Hey, tell us if you can, we've got about 5 minutes here. Tell us about the band, what kind of music you guys play, and what you're hoping for come Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, I've always played music. I've been in bands when I was in high school and college and hadn't been in a band in about 20 years. And a good friend of mine, Jim O'Connell, and I, about 4 years ago, started playing guitar. And it just started off as kind of a joke, to be honest with you. And so we call it, world's or North County's hottest dad band because we're all in our 50s and we all have, kids and all that. So we started playing, and surely, this is almost 4 years ago. We played our first gig like 3 years ago at the Moose Lodge, and we started playing and getting kind of a following, and always kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing that this was a North County's hottest dad band. It was kind of a joke. But it's turned out to be a pretty cool thing. We had, we get a couple hundred people that show up, and we get the same group of people. We have a great following up here in Carlsbad and Oceanside that people come and see us wherever we play. The Kraken's a big deal. We've never played at the Kraken before, so we're very, very excited about it. Should be very cool.
Can I ask you? You've been in bands your whole life. Are you the lead singer of this band?
I play rhythm guitar. I have the fortunate of being the least talented person in the band, which is always what you want. You want to be the least talented person. So I play rhythm guitar, do a little background vocals. Matt Garr is our lead singer, and he's legitimately a really good singer. We've got Eric on bass and Doug on drums, all really good guys, all been in bands, in high school and college and all that. we've got a really good, good 5 group guys. They're really cool to hang out with and just good people.
God, I'm so jealous, man. I don't play guitar. I've always wanted to play guitar. I've never had the patience to really, truly learn. Plus, of course, I think I'm a lead singer, but I've never really lead sung. What's up, Brown?
Yeah. Let's not say you're a lead singer, please.
Well, I'm saying in my own mind, I'm a lead singer is what I'm getting at.
Okay. Who else is in the
Bill,
group? In your mind, who else is in the group?
Well, I need a hype man. Would you hype me up?
Oh yeah, I could do that. I got you.
Bill, I'm really excited though about Wednesday night.
Do dad bands have hype men?
I don't know.
I thought that was like a pretty.
I mean, dad bands can have whatever you want.
I feel like it's pretty exclusive to rap at the moment.
Check this out. I can be the nephew in the dad band. I'm the nephew.
There you go.
All right.
You guys are all going to be there, right? And I have, in fact, I mean, literally going out in, the nice little gold packages that we have. We've got some keg shirts here. We got.
Can we see those? Because I understand, Bill, that the first 50 people that come into the Kraken all get these shirts. So it says on the back, Keg the Band, out of Carlsbad. It's got the 1090 logo, the Kaplan and Crew logo, our partners at 91X, their logo as well. So the first 50 people that come into the Kraken, they will get those T-shirts. What time does the band go on?
8 o'clock. We're playing 3 sets, 8 to 11. So we're going to go on copyright straight up at 8. I expect a full house. I mean, Kraken is such a unique place, and it doesn't take a lot to fill up that place, really.
Right. But I will just say this, that it's the kind of place where, believe it or not, local musicians really want to get onto that stage.
Yes.
And the better the band performs, meaning the more people that come, the more people that drink, the more people that have a good time, behave, the better it is for the band to get booked there another time. So for me, I know you guys love the Moose Lodge. I do too. I like the VFW and Encinitas when bands play there. But the Kraken is my hometown, I'm going to call it dive bar, music bar. For local small venue types of shows. And I just want everybody who's watching on Cox right now to make your plans. It's Wednesday night, July 20th. You might be watching this on Wednesday, July 20th at 7:15 at night, 7:20 at night. Get your ass in your car. Show starts at 8. Show's going to run till 11. And we're all going to be there. Yeah. Now, me and Brown are committed. I got 30 seconds. Alex, are you going to come or are you not going to come?
No, I will be there, but I won't be there till 11. Guaranteed. Okay. I'm not a dad yet, but I have a dad bedtime, dude.
I appreciate you guys just doing this. This is very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. First 50 people that get to the Kraken on Wednesday night, you're going to get those Keg the Band T-shirts. And again, everybody watching on Cox, I know that we have this great relationship, but this is just you guys finding out about this. Come to the Kraken in Cardiff. Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. I know it's a school night. We'll see you guys all there. Let's get back to the show. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. See ya. Peace.
The NFL lives here. If it's about the NFL, you found the right station. Join 1090 every Sunday during the NFL season for the exclusive SoCal home of not one, but 2 NFL games every Sunday during the season on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
What keeps me coming back is just learning more about myself in the classroom. And as I learn more about myself, I can share more about myself with my students, and I can open up more and care more and love more and teach more by example.
Teaching is just one of those things that if you have a heart for it, you've found your place, and I have found my place. I get to help little people realize what it means to learn something for the first time, and that's something like reading that will be with them for the rest of their lives.
Still a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little bit surprised. You don't go into teaching for awards. You go into teaching because you sincerely believe you can make a difference in young people's lives, and that's kind of what got me into the field in the first place.
We use our phones to order our food, catch a ride, share our stories, and so much more. SDCCU made banking from your mobile device easy, too. You can do so much, Get up-to-date account balances, check on pending deposits, transfer money, deposit checks, and more. Safely and securely, all through the convenience of your smartphone. SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better.